All right, guys. So welcome to the channel. Um, Appreciate y'all joining in. If y'all are here, I'm assuming more than likely it's because you saw one of the shorts that I've had, and you decided, hey, let me go look a little bit further into this. So, without further ado, we'll go ahead and jump straight into it. I'll just give you a little bit of background about myself. Originally, what made me want to do this is because I was speaking with my nephews, and they were just complaining about how the job market was bad, and it was so hard to get a job, and et cetera, et cetera. And it's just one of those hypothetical scenarios that you always put yourself in, and you're like, man, if I were in your shoes, I would do X, Y, Z. And there's no excuse as to why you can't do X, Y, Z either, quite frankly. And fortunately and unfortunately, I was able to get put in that predicament, due to the circumstances that, as you can see, I'm currently under, in which, I got laid off from my job. So, with that being said, there's a lot of things out there, a lot of different articles talking about how bad the job market is. And quite frankly, I'm a firm believer in that you get in you get out what you put in, right? And I wanted to do this live. That way it can be as authentic as possible. Also going to be doing it daily as well, so you guys can see, just the truest form of the hustle, determination, and grit, and ultimately, what comes of that. And hey, if nothing comes of it, then we'll see. I'll stand corrected, but I'm a firm believer again that you get out what you put in, and if you're putting in 100%, you're going to get out that same 100%. Putting in, just lackluster effort, you're going to get lackluster results, and that's just the bottom line. So, I'll share a couple of articles here with you as well. Let me see my first stream, so I'm not really too familiar in how everything works in terms of sharing the screens and whatnot. Actually, here we go here. Boom. All right. So first things first, let me go. As you can see, I kind of dibble and dabble in stocks as well. Let me go to I think it was the Wall Street Journal where I saw where they were actually talking about just the delay in the job market and how more people were being unemployed for longer, et cetera, which I don't doubt, I don't dispute, but again, get out what you put in. And I think a lot of times when people see things like this, it gives them that negative confirmation bias, and next thing you know, they're like, oh, they're in a whole pity me situation, and that's just not going to get you. It's not going to get you. It's not going to get you anywhere. Let me see if I can find it. Where we are? Where are we? Where are we? Um. Oh, here we go. Bingo. All right. So this is the Wall Street Journal article that they put up a few weeks ago, talking about basically how the unemployment numbers have been surging, how people were being unemployed for longer. It says right here the median length of unemployment in the U.S. has ticked up from a seasonally adjusted 9.5 weeks in July 2024 to 10.2 weeks. So essentially, what this is saying is that on average, people are going at least 2.5 months being unemployed at this point. Um, and that as from here, we're talking about 27 weeks at this point. I mean, this is um, what almost 7 months, damn near over half a year where people have been unemployed, and that's top 1.8 million. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. If you've been unemployed for over half the year, over 6 months, man, you got to reevaluate what you're doing. You got to reevaluate the strategy. I'm sorry. And who knows? Maybe I'll fall into this category. I highly doubt it. The reason why is, like I said, it just comes down to that determination and that want. And you got to understand that this is on average as well, too. So a lot of people are going a lot less than this, and a lot of people are going a lot longer. And again, in my opinion, what separates the have from have nots really just boils down to a lot of effort. I think there was another one that I saw here too. Yeah, exactly here. Oh, this is actually a
For
video.
jobs. If it feels like you've been searching forever, you're not alone. Unemployed Americans are
Video
having to
basically
put
saying
up
the
with a
same thing.
longer job search in a cooling labor market. More than 1.8 million people have been unemployed
Basically
for
the
at least
same thing.
27.
basically the same thing. So as you can see, again, I don't doubt it. The data is here that says that it is, you know, getting harder to find a job. My point is, at the end of the day, it's gonna come down to you. Nobody's gonna come in and save you, and that's the reality that a lot of people don't want to hear. A lot of times people think, oh, because other people, are taking longer to get jobs, or because other people can't find jobs and things like that. That is, kind of justifies. Again, it's the confirmation bias that kicks in. At the end of the day, man, as a man, especially as a man, I can't, speak to the feminine aspect of it, but as a man, you got two things, protect and provide, and that's two non-negotiables. And that providing is something that you're going to have to just get out and do. You got to make it happen. You just can't go 6 months without being unemployed. Now, thankfully, with me, I was able to have an eggshell saved up as well. So it's not just like I'm in just full out desperation mode, fortunately. But at the end of the day, if I were, that would be even more reason to just get out and make it happen. So, just to give you guys a little bit more background, I was with a company for 8 years in sales, moved up management level, and then from there, ended up getting laid off. So fortunately, I do have a background in sales, which everybody, well, a lot of people know is a pretty decent paying um, career, just to say the least. But with that being said, I mean it's super competitive as well. I mean, at the end of the day, if a lot of people are aware that this pays well, a lot of people are going to want to, go into it. So, and again, as you can see, the labor market, just statistically speaking, isn't the best right now. So, with that being said, again, I'm going to go ahead and just wrap up the stream here for now. But and I will give my to-do list out that I'm going to do for today. And the first thing is that I'm going to do at least 10 applications, and it's important that the applications are based around your strengths as well. That's another thing as well too. I mean, if you're putting in applications to careers and jobs that you don't have any prior experience in, I mean, the likelihood that you're going to get a call back from that is going to be slim to none. Because what you have to understand is that, first of all, these aren't even people reading these applications. These are robots, AI. We're in the age of AI, right? And the only thing they're doing is going through, scanning your application and searching and filtering through keywords. So if you're putting in an application that you have experience in one industry but zero in this other that you're putting in the application for, chances are you're going to get screened out by that screening system, and you're not even going to make it to the person, the actual hiring person at all. And even if you do, they're just going to glance at it and say, oh, this guy doesn't have any experience whatsoever. On to the next, right? So yes, I'm going to be doing 10 applications a day, but these applications are going to be based around my background, around my strengths, which obviously is sales. Some of the applications will be management level, some of them will be non-management level. At the end of the day, beggars can't be choosers, right? Whatever happens, and then from there, if I get a job where it's non-management, and I'll just continue applying, and then if I apply to a management role and get it there, then fine. But another thing that you have to understand is that it's going to be hard to go into a management level job uh, externally, right? And that's because a lot of people hire internally, right? You know, you got free training there. I mean, it helps promote the culture. It's a whole plethora of reasons as to why it's ideal for companies to hire from within. So you already have to understand that if you're coming from a management level, role in particular, it's going to be harder, right? And that's just the bottom line. So with that being said, again, my applications are going to consist of non-management and management level jobs, and we'll see what comes first. But yeah, like I said, the biggest thing is just being smart and putting yourself in the best position um, to be successful. So with that being said, one of my favorite quotes is that from my guy Eric Thomas. Everybody wants to be a beast until it's time to do a real beast do. Everybody wants to just say what they would do and how they would do it, etc. I think it was Martin Luther King who even said that the real measure of a man is how he performs in a time of adversity, right? So again, won't say I'm happy to be here, but I am excited, I would say, to show improve not only to myself, but also to you all as well too. What I'm capable of, and ultimately what you're capable of as well too. Because if I can go out here and get a job after being laid off, working somewhere for 8 years in a matter of weeks, then you guys can too. But again, this is the first video, so I'll keep you guys posted on a day-to-day basis, and we'll go from there.